XRP, major pump yesterday, pumped about 22% in one day. It was just amazing watching it go. Now, is that the end? Did we reach the top? We're in a retracement right now. Is it going to go back down, or is this just the beginning? We're going to get into all of that today, plus more. But before we do that, just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is certainly not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing. No need to act on any of these things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down below. If you're not a subscriber, now's the time to subscribe. With that, and no further ado, let's get into talking about what happened to XRP yesterday, where it may go, and is it over, or is this just a retracement and small steps back before we go back up? All right, so yesterday we pumped 22% in one day. XRP to the moon. So look, it was a big pump, and we went above the previous cycle high, and so that right here became a floor of support. It was a hard ceiling of resistance. We had come up against a couple other Fibonacci zones, bust through it yesterday. It tested it one time, went up, retraced a little bit, went up, popped above. Now it's retesting that floor of support right now, and it's retesting very strongly. Okay, so why did this happen? There's a couple things that happened yesterday. Number one, technically we broke out of that $3, past the $3 range, 301, $3 range, to pass through that level right there, that feeling of resistance. And when it passed through that, it shot up pretty quickly yesterday. It was like boom, boom, boom. And then we passed through that other level of around 340-ish, the previous highs of earlier in the cycle and this cycle. And then, it started to move up, got to about 365 last night, overnight, and then it retraced back. We still have a long way to run to the 1618 Fibonacci, but look, here's why it happened yesterday. You got to remember, there was a lot going on yesterday. We had a new ETF. It was a 2x leveraged ETF that came out yesterday. We had the House passed not one, not two, but 3 crypto bills yesterday. Passed the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, which really wasn't expected to be passed yesterday, and they passed the anti-CBDC bill. Well, 3 of those, that was a monumental accomplishment for this country and crypto in general. It pretty much wrote into law things they've been talking about, and Donald promised, a year ago or so at Bitcoin. Well, actually, it was more than a year ago at Bitcoin over, I think it was in Austin. Now I can't remember, but becoming the crypto capital of the world. Now look, those are just some of the pieces. You had whales purchasing, you had whales accumulating. And the main thing is that, we passed through this key level of support because we had been in a consolidation phase, just gearing up. If you look at, I wrote this yesterday. Well, I didn't write it, I drew it. But you look, see this wedge? It was a perfect wedge of accumulation, consolidation, to our violent move to the upside. Now, I drew all of these yesterday. I said, look, this is before this all happened. I said, look, we could pump up, hit that ceiling of resistance, and move back down. It didn't, or we could go above that. It will look at this exactly as I drew it yesterday. Or I said, more likely or possibly we could go through this, then we're going to retest it, and possibly move back to the upside. Now, that's what we're looking at today. Are we retesting to move back to the upside, or are we retesting it? The floor will fail and we'll go back down to maybe levels, like I said, down here. So look, let's look at a couple of indicators. Now, these are key indicators. Bitcoin dominance is dropping fast. Bitcoin is not necessarily dropping that fast, but it's not gaining as fast as the others. Major gainer is Ethereum. Ethereum is doing very well against Bitcoin right now, and it is rising in its own dominance. But then you have the others, which is where XRP would fall. The Bitcoin, oops, wrong, I did that wrong. The Bitcoin is dropping in dominance. It's over at I don't know, 60.8% right now. It was as high as like 65, 66%. That drop is showing up in indicators like Ethereum and others. That's what's being purchased right now. And XRP, here's the cool thing about XRP. I don't know if it's the cool thing, but this is what's happening with XRP. You look at Google Trends, search terms. So the red is Bitcoin. It's got a high dominance in the search terms. Blue is XRP and yellow is Ethereum. Ethereum's a ho-hum. People, it is not sexy to most people, even though it's the infrastructure to a lot of the things that are going to go on in crypto. It's just not that sexy to people where they're just not running out and freaking out and buying Ethereum. Now, they should have a couple of months ago. I talked about rotation in and out of Ethereum. It's a love-hate relationship I have with Ethereum. Right now I'm rotated in versus Bitcoin, but I rotated out of Ethereum into Bitcoin several months back. Was that a mistake? No, because I bought back in at the similar prices I sold after making money in Bitcoin. But look, you look at this. We're riding along pretty much equal. It spikes together. Bitcoin and XRP spikes together. But look at this right here. XRP's hype is just through the roof right now. And that excitement, that's a lot of retail. This is the average person looking up terms like XRP because there is so much hype around XRP. Now, I'm not here to tell you whether XRP is good or bad. I'm not here to tell you whether you should buy it or don't buy it. But I'm just looking at these factors and saying, this is what people are doing. People are buying XRP. So this is why I say, is this retracement? Are we going down or up after this? Now, this is going to be a wild ass guess, also known as a WAG if you watched yesterday's video. I am still very bullish on XRP. As long as you have this going on, where you have people out there searching for XRP in droves. They're just running towards it because Bitcoin, 120,000. They're like, that's expensive. Ethereum, it's not that sexy to me. I don't know the potential to rise. Even though XRP has a huge market cap, it surpassed $200 billion yesterday. There's so much hype around XRP that that FOMO into XRP. I saw a video of David Portnoy whatever that guy's name is. He was talking about how he shouldn't have sold 2 weeks ago, the same time I put on leveraged trades that are 300% in the money, and I've taken a lot of profits out of these things. And look, so we're bouncing off this floor of support. Look at it right here. It's very, very clear. We went up to 265. We went down. We tested this floor of support, and it's bouncing off it very positively. To me, and this is just me, buddy, I am very bullish on this right here. This tells me, I can't even get my marker out. No, it's not working. Why are you not working? This tells me that we are still in a zone where we have the ability to move back up. Now, obviously, there's a lot of macro factors at play, and don't discount these. You still have what's going on in the world. You could have a black swan event. You could have the Fed come out and say, look, we're raising rates. We're not going to lower them. We're raising rates. We're worried about inflation, even though the inflation numbers came in less than expected. Both PPI, you have consumer price index, which went up just a little bit, even though it was less than expected. And then you have producer price index that went down. This tells me that retail environments, not retail in the sense of investors, but retail environments and companies are raising their prices because they're using the tariffs as a reason to do that, even though the cost to produce these items isn't as much as expected. It's just it's a smart play if you're a capitalist, but the prices aren't naturally going up because they cost more to produce because the PPI went down. Long story short, this is an opportunity. Right now, for me, I bought back in this morning at around 340 after it went up to 365. I bought back in just a little bit as we go up. I still think we have room to run. I still think that we have the opportunity to hit this 1618 Fibonacci. There's still some, there you go. There's still some opportunity right here. Oh, shoot. I'm not even on that screen. Okay. There's still some opportunity right here. If it does pass through this floor of support, I'm going to be very cautious because it does have some room to run down because each one of these fibs are going to be a floor of support. But if it busts through that floor, it can go to the next one and so on and so forth. And right now, I'm just still bullish. I still think $4.50 is possible this cycle. Some others have argued that we could go up as high as $10,000. Unfortunately, I just don't see that happening. The market cap for that to happen would be so big that it would outplay gold and Bitcoin and everything else, and so many things would have to happen. And this is a private company we're talking about. This is not Bitcoin, which is open source, not controlled by people. So I think that right now a really realistic target is to see if we can hit this 1618. Now, not financial advice. This is what's in my crazy head and how I'm playing this. I will start, as we go up this way, I will start to deleverage, sell slowly some of my leveraged positions as we go up. My spot bag, I have not touched. I actually added to it a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, I actually added to my spot bag, have not touched it. I don't plan on selling my spot until we're in this zone. But my leverage plays, I will deleverage, sell off parts of those leveraged monies as we go up above this zone here. So with all of that, I will tell you that, I think this is a retracement. We've already tested the floor of support. I think the opportunity to go back up looks good, but again, a lot of things could happen. It could pull back down further and further and further. This could have been a sell the news event. The rumors being the passing of all these crypto laws, the news being the actual passing of the laws. Actually, the rumor would be putting them into place. Passing would be, the news that maybe this was a sell the news event. We will see very soon. But look, this is a healthy pullback of about 6 to 7% versus the new all-time high, depending on how you look at it, of 365 or 366-ish. You have whales still accumulating, and more important, you have new laws that are very pro. And look, if the SEC drops all their cases and they're done with the case for Ripple, this could also pump it. RLUSD, yet to be seen how it's really going to affect the price of XRP. But all these things are boding very well for XRP. And if it can hold that floor of support and push forward, I think we have a good opportunity to run. If not, be very careful, set yourself up appropriately, always protect yourself. And with that, that's all I got. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all those things. And I'll see you next time.